Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to talk about an immortal two-champion combination, Scyl of the Drakes and Vrask, and they're both really insane passive healers, meaning that they don't have any healing ability on their active skills. All of their heals come from their passive, which is really cool because you can essentially keep a team all healed up, especially with both these champions on the same team, support really any dungeon, and you don't have to worry about the skills being on cooldown. You need that spot heal, no worries, it's happening every turn on their passives. Both these healers on the same team, as I mentioned, is going to be tremendous for supporting anything that you guys need. So let's talk a little bit about these two champions really quickly. Scyl of the Drakes, I am just so thrilled. You guys who've been longtime viewers know how much I love this champion. I think it's one of the best things that Plarium has ever done, and I'm not being hyperbolic here. Adding her to the game as a daily login reward champion, albeit after, 230 days? I could be off there. But either way, she is, if you have her and you're not using her, you probably ought to be, because she is one of the most fantastic champions inside the entire game. I have her built in a stun set because I prefer to have her running support with her revival and her stun, and I want that stun to be as consistent as possible. So the stun set stacks with her stun ability. So her stun ability on the A2 attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has an independent 35% chance of landing that stun. Now we get that up to 40% chance on each hit with Fearsome Presence Tier 6 Mastery. So I decided again to move in the direction of her being a healer, reviver, and CC champion. I'm not expecting a ton of damage from Scyl of the Drakes on my teams. That's how I prefer using her, but of course many people do opt to go on the offensive tree on this champion as well and go with War Master for a Tier 6 Mastery. So, like we always say here, go with what you think will work for you, but I love this build because I also have a 23% chance of landing a stun thanks to the stun set plus Fearsome Presence. So 23% here, and then 80% essentially here, independent 40 and 40. So long story short, we're very consistently landing stuns every 3 turns. That's really powerful on an AoE. So back to her passive though. That's what this video is about anyway, right? So Boundless Life. She heals all allies by 10% of their max HP at the start of each turn. Also places increased speed on 2 random allies, or on a random ally, for 2 turns. Really solid passive. And she has the revival on a 4-turn cooldown with the ally protect. So she's bringing so much to the table. You guys can see, she's defense-based damage as well. You guys can see why I love this champion so much. Also has a decreased speed on the A1 with some turn meter. So, man, I mean, need I say more about Scyl of the Drakes? Again, taking a look at support tree. On both of these champions, I went with the HP, and I went with the Lay on Hands. Increases the value of heals this champion casts by 5%. Might not sound like much, but keep in mind, these champions are doing AoE heals every single turn. So that's really going to add up on both Vrask and Scyl of the Drakes throughout the duration of your normal battle. So let's go ahead and talk about Vrask really quickly before we show you them both in action on the same team and see how well they can support. So where is my Vrask? Probably right in front of my face. I'm looking in Legendary. That would be a good start, Ash, not to look in Legendary. There he is. So Vrask, on his masteries, I actually redid them. I used to go defense tree. I think that, if you look up online, I think most websites, most other YouTube creators out there are all going to recommend you go offense and defense on your Vrask builds. In fact, I showed that build on him on my previous Vrask video. Looking back, I do think that was a mistake. Ali A is a YouTuber who actually goes support with Vrask, and I decided to go that route as well. Because, again, the same point that we just brought up. Do we really want a little bit of defensive stats in Retribution, the chance to counterattack on Vrask? Or do we want 5% extra heals every single time he lands a critical hit? I will take the extra heals because, again, that's really going to add up. We also have Cycle of Magic, why not? And we also went with Spirit Haste. So, you're not getting a ton of value on either of these trees, but I decided to go support instead. And again, starting with that HP is beneficial as well because his damage is based off of HP. So War Master on the tier 6 mastery on Vrask. So in terms of artifacts on him, if you have it, go ahead and go Relentless. Relentless on Vrask is really, really advantageous because, again, extra turns mean extra heals. Let's take a look at his heal passive. Heals all allies by 10% of his max HP when he inflicts a critical hit. So a lot of people think that he's doing 10% of the damage dealt. No, he's doing 10% of his max HP, and his damage is based off of HP as well. So obviously want to build this dude with as much HP as possible. I would even go HP on the banner, or excuse me, on the amulet over crit damage on this champion. I would also go HP on the ring and HP on the banner, and you guessed it, HP percentage on the chest. I did go crit rate, however, on the gauntlets, and I went speed on the boots. I went defense percentage, by the way, and crit rate on the gauntlets on Scyl of the Drakes. I forgot to show you her gear. So both have speed on the boots as well. So that's how we have these guys built out. His other skills, I mean, not much. Attack one enemy on Lightning Strike and whack. Fills his champion's turn meter by 20% if the attack is critical. So again, we want him to have that 100% crit rate. I believe I have, what, 99% or something like that on this Vrask? 99%, that will get the job done. And he has 82,000 HP. You can even build more HP if you want to stack on more god tier gear on this champion. You don't have to have massive HP though, because he's just going to be doing so much attacking that, you know, you're going to get a lot of heals no matter how you look at it. 60k HP, you're going to be just fine with your Vrask. So let's go ahead and show you these two champions together, guys. And man, I'm just like such a huge fan of this tandem. Let's start out in Dragon. So, wow, what team were we doing? What we're doing here, guys. So we want to take Apothecary out. We can keep Sniper in, have some fun, as long as she still has the gear on her. No, she doesn't anymore. Forget it. All right, we messed around there. All right, I'm going to make a team. I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I kind of put a fun team together here. I included another daily login reward champion in Dark Elaine, along with Kale as my damage dealers, War Maiden as my debuffer, and then we have Vrask in the lead. Now, some of you guys might saying Spirit Affinity versus Magic, well, that's no good. Well, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, we do have that chance of landing weak hits, so that is going to affect the bottom line a little bit on heals. But think about it, man. I mean, his job is to heal our team, and he's still going to be landing enough critical hits, as you saw there. Even if it's 65% of the time, we're still going to be getting a lot of heals out of our Vrask. So he is one of those champions that you can still run in anti-affinity dungeons. So that's what we're going to be seeing here. And you can see every time that Scyl goes, every time that Vrask goes, everybody gets healed up, topped off, and we're going to keep everybody at full health throughout most of the duration of this battle. Really, really strong team, right? I hope that, okay, yeah, Dark Elaine's going to kill there. Unfortunately, she uses her big hard-hitting ability right there on one enemy. Don't you just hate that? But you can see Scyl of the Drakes just goes with her AoE stun, like I told you guys about. Beautiful. Everything we need, right? And that's going to buy us time again to get some of these debuffs up, make sure everybody's nice and dead before the enemies even get a chance to take a turn, I think. Let's see, and that's why how impactful having that AoE stun can be. It looks like Tyrell will actually take a turn here on the enemy team. A couple of them might. Let's see. We do land that decreased speed, but we're looking pretty good here, guys. Even if we were to lose somebody, we always have that revival on Scyl of the Drakes as well. So this team, very accessible, obviously. Scyl of the Drakes is a daily login reward. Dark Elaine, daily login reward. Kale is a starting champion, and War Maiden is farmable. And obviously Vrask, well, you know, he's the subject of the video. You gotta cut me some slack on that one, guys. All right, so once we get to the Dragon, easy peasy. And this is the type of team that you can actually run this team with the exception of War Maiden in Ice Golem, the same exact team, and you're going to be consistently winning there as well. A nice, reliable team with a lot of crossover in terms of dungeon potential. Now, on a team like this, you can see, look at the HP. It's pretty low, and we have all these poisons, but that's where, again, Vrask and Scyl are going to top everybody off before the Dragon gets a chance to take another turn and get them back close to full HP. That way they can withstand another AoE attack. Now, if I was going to make any substitutions to this team, I would go ahead and consider adding a Reliquary Tender. If you guys don't have Vrask, if you're watching this video and you don't happen to have Vrask, consider adding Reliquary Tender in that spot, and you're going to be looking a-okay as well, because she's going to go ahead and strip off all of those poison debuffs. Every debuff that the dragon lands will be fully cleansed. And there's the weak hit, unfortunately, but the good news is we get that Relentless Gear proc there as well. So everything is looking just fine here. Again, you can see the HP get low, but it's okay. The heals are incoming, and we're going to keep the team alive, okay? Keep most of the team alive. We'll pick one up. The dragon had that final shot. We have a very, very weak, very fragile War Maiden and Kale on this team, as you guys can see. But the dragon will be dead in, what, 2 more shots maybe? 1, and who's going to finish it? Dark Elaine? Okay, Vrask. No? Okay. Jeez, how many times are we going to play this game? All right, so there we go. 3-minute run and able to keep everybody healed. Look at these heals, guys. They compared very well. 580 to 599,000 off both of our passive healers. In terms of damage, well, we kind of have a Dark Elaine War Maiden face-off here at 750, 836, and Kale at 1.5 million, thanks in part to all of those poisons. Let's go ahead and sell that and move on to Ice Golem. Alright guys, so let's move over to Ice Golem now, and let's see if I have a team ready here. Oh, this is kind of a fun team to do too, but you know what? I think I want to take Dark Elaine out. We already showed her off in Dragon, and I think I want to put somebody who has an increased defense alongside Shield Guard to make sure he's doing more damage and make sure everybody else is staying alive. So let's go ahead and put in my boy. Some of you might already know who I have in mind here. I just did a guide on him last week, I believe, and it is, where is he? Doomscreech. Excuse me. So let me just make sure he has gear on him right here. Yeah, he looks to be geared out. All right, so here we go. This squad is going to be interesting. Again, decreased defense from Tyrell. We have the increased defense from Doomscreech with a turn meter. We have Shield Guard being really our only damage dealer on this team. I mean, only major nuker on the team. And we'll see kind of how we do here. So I really like this team as well. It looks like, oh, I do have Doomscreech in a shield set as well, you guys will note. That's going to help us out in the second wave because we're really going to be counting on Scyl to go ahead and get those stuns landed on those Terror Beasts on the second wave. If you do use Dark Elaine in your Ice Golem team though, guys, I mentioned this before, she's great in Ice Golem, but I really strongly advise you guys run her in attack percentage boots because her Death's Majesty is going to proc automatically anytime an ally is frozen. So you can kind of get by. She'll be doing the brunt of her damage with that automatic like procking of Death's Majesty. So you can get by with running her in a little bit of a slower build. You know, 130 to 150 speed is just fine for Ice Golem specifically. Anyway, you can see we're going against the Shriek here. And the reflect damage isn't really that awful against this team because of the passive heals, right? Even if we do lose somebody, we'll be, well, I was going to say even if we lose somebody, we'll be just fine, but as long as we don't lose Scyl the Drake, and she got pretty low there, but we are back in business here. We're here in what? 70 seconds to Ice Golem? Not too bad at all. Excuse me, guys. It's getting over that cold. I feel a lot better, though. So the AoE goes down there. And by the way, guys, let me go ahead and throw the question to you. Do you have a champion tandem that you're a big fan of that I have not covered here on the channel before? I really love doing these videos, kind of exploring synergy between champions. I do have a legendary one as well that I've been working on for a while now, but I don't know if I want to do it, honestly, because it's so pay to win, and I don't want my channel to be like that, you know, just to be like, oh, here's 3 Void legendaries, boys and girls. Yeah, like, no crap, dude. You know, yeah, you're gonna be successful. But anyway, let me know if you have any rare, or even this was an epic and a legendary, but one was a daily login reward. So, you know, guys, let me know in the comments below if you have any champions that you would like to see together. I've done quite a few rares combos. I've done Seer and Mausoleum Mage, and I've done Senesha and Skullcrown as well. So, you know, and again, rares, I've done quite a few. Anyway, here we go, guys. Getting a consistent stun thanks to Scyl on the 2 minions here of the Ice Golem. And again, look at my heal. Like, everybody's nice and topped off, and you need that against Ice Golem. And it's really nice to have the extra speed boost, too, from Doomscreech, I gotta say. Not to mention the increased defense, getting more damage out of Shield Guard. Again, if you guys missed my Shield Guard video, boy, was that a treat, dude. He was soloing. Yeah, it was insane. You're gonna be a believer in this, dude, if you see that video, man. And I have some guides on the way on other uncommon champions and two common champions who I think you guys are gonna be impressed with. Stay tuned for that. All right, so here we go. Again, nice and consistent here. Probably gonna be about a 4-minute run, so not the fastest in the world, but consistency is the key. Especially if you guys are farming overnight or whatever, you know. All right, so looking pretty good here. Again, maybe I should have left Dark Lane on this team because instead of Doomscreech, I just don't know if everybody would have stayed alive without that increased defense. But it would have been much faster, I can tell you that for sure. You don't get a ton of damage out of Doomscreech being kind of his only downside. But, you know, again, we're not about speed here. We're about consistency and keeping everybody alive. And hell, our nuker is a freaking uncommon champion. So, what do you want from me? So here we go. Not too bad. Again, I mean, you guys have seen enough, you know? I could run a Fire Knight team for you guys. I could run them in every single keep. But you guys get the point. Having 2 passive healers on your team is nice. Consistent heals, not predicated on cooldowns, just every single turn, the team's gonna be nice and topped off. And one of these champions alone, really solid healer, really solid support champion. But you usually need to have kind of another support champion on the team, if not 2 more support champions. But if you run 2 passives, you can get extra utility out of everything else they bring to the table, such as especially SOD. And it has a really nice synergy. So I said 4 minutes. It looks like it's going to be closer to 5. So, not the fastest run in the world, but again, it's fun to see this team because there's no worries, you know? There's not one point in this battle like you're like, oh crap, we're going to be wiped. We're doomed, you know? And that's what it's all about here. So, one more shot maybe from Shield Guard. Can you get it done? No. One more shot. Vrask will finish him off. So there we go, guys. And Shield Guard puts out 2.7 million damage. And that heal is all off of his lifesteal gear that he's in. And then we have 1.3 million heals from Vrask with 583,000 damage. Doomscreech not doing a ton. He is doing a ton. It doesn't come up on the box scores. And then Scyl the Drake's with 800,000 heal. And then 1.2 million damage. And Tyrell down the end with 1.4 million damage. So guys, there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video covering this really strong passive heal tandem. And again, let me know in the comments below if you guys have either any uncommon champions, common champions, or just any champion tandems that you want to see me review here on the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.